Okay, so there are many ways to make a quesadilla, right? Is there a wrong way? Is there a right way? Or maybe there's the best way. So today we're gonna be making quesadillas. We're gonna talk about a bunch of different things, right? Is homemade better, or does it not make a difference? Does store-bought inevitably it's just as good? I don't know. We're gonna find that out. Secondarily, cheese. End of story there. And then we're gonna create multiple fillings. We're really working to try and make the perfect quesadilla. But at the end, it is kind of a subjective, look, let me not shoot myself in the foot, and let's make this, shall we?
Now hold on there, partner. You can't just go and make a quesadilla. Salsa and tortillas are the first thing we need to look at before assembling our cheesy majesty. Both full recipes for the homemade tortillas and the salsa can be found in my breakfast taco video, which will be linked below. But for some context, you can make any ordinary salsa you want, but I like to make a nice little roasted jalapeno salsa, which I make by simply blackening some jalapenos, letting them steam in some foil, peeling them, and then finally blending them along with some roasted garlic oil. And roasted garlic and all sorts of other stuff. But again, the full recipe can be found on the link below. Now moving forward, let's see if a homemade tortilla is even worth the work. I made these tortillas using a mix of bacon fat and shortening as my fat of choice. Then I rolled them out by hand and cooked them individually, leaving us with some beautifully, truly artisan looking and tasting tortillas. Next to the pre-made tortilla, I really think mine look better. My ego has taken me to a point where I always think mine always looks better. But besides that, let's just talk about cheese. You can use any cheese that melts nicely. I know that cheese choice tends to be a religion for most people, but I really enjoyed this mix of medium sharp cheddar, gruyere, Monterey Jack, and smoked cheddar. I prefer mixes of cheeses only because you get different melting qualities plus different flavors. I'm a complicated man. Once all is grated, toss together till well combined. By the way, that's equal parts of all these different cheeses. Now, so we can get a non-crowded example for the homemade versus pre-made tortilla, let's do a plain cheese quesadilla for each. Grab your hurricane tortilla, fill half of it with your desired amount of cheese. Like my mom has taught me the way of excess cheese, so I prefer it extra thicky. Get a small container of unsalted butter, about 6 tablespoons or 84 grams. Melt it, fold the other half over, brush it generously with your melted butter, and invert into a cold pan so the butter side is down. We'll repeat that process with the homemade tortilla, and also, by the way, notice how beautifully these snuggle in a 12-inch pan. Now just pop this bad boy on the stove over medium heat until you get a nice golden brown, and the cheese begins to melt, about 2 to 3 minutes. Then butter the top. I got 2 buttered sides, see where we're going here? Then flip each of them carefully and let that toast and cook another 2 to 3 minutes or until golden brown and the cheese is completely melted. Remove it from the pan. Slice into 4 pieces each. Respect and admire the cheese pull. And now it's time to determine the tortilla winner.
Okay, so we have 2 different options here. Also, motorcycle guy is in here, but guess what? We got a new guy. New guy enters the arena, leaf blower guy. We got the homemade, and then we got the pre-made, right? They both look delicious. This one looks a little more delicate and flaky. Let's give it a taste. This one is almost like combined with the tortilla, and then this one is still a little melty. They're both very good, honestly. You're not gonna be disappointed with a pre-made tortilla. Now with that said, the benefits of having a homemade one, it's a fresh flavor, it's homemade, more delicate, pre-made, a little chewier, sort of sweet, and it has like this weird aftertaste. Not really a clear winner. Vikram's gonna come say hello. Say hello. Getting the idea of like whether you think it's worth it, make your own.
I think it's a matter of experience. This one's like, you have that homemade kind of textured feel. This one's definitely this like chewy, soft. I think it's just a matter of preference.
Like an American palate would probably want this one more. Now, if you have a more refined palate, this might be your route.
Okay, so we understand the classic cheese. Let's look at a more beefy brethren of that. Start with 1 whole onion, thinly sliced. Also, before that, make sure to do this with it, of course, then immediately become self-conscious because your knife is dull. Then, heat a 10-inch skillet up with about 3 tablespoons or 42 grams of canola oil or any high-heat cooking oil over medium-high heat. Once it's nice and hot, toss in your sliced onion, season it to taste with salt, and begin cooking it while stirring often. Then simply continue this process until the onions have softened and begin to generate some nice color. It's cool if they char a wee bit. That'll take about 5 to 8 minutes. Then add 3.5 tablespoons or 50 milliliters of a good balsamic vinegar. Then just let that reduce until it turns into a bit of a glaze, about 2 to 3 minutes. Turn off the heat and add 1 teaspoon or 5 grams of honey. Stir that together and you've got some sweet and sour onions. From there, you'll need some format of beef. I happen to have this beautiful little sirloin cap, also known as a picanha, but you can use any steak that you like. I scored the fat cap on it just to help it render out a bit while it's cooking. Season it generously with salt and pepper, and preheat a skillet with enough oil to coat the bottom of the pan over medium-high heat until ripping hot, and then sear it for about 2 to 3 minutes per side until you get a nice medium rare, which would be pulled at around 130 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, optionally, you can baste it in butter once it's done cooking, but this one I decided not to for some odd reason, which I hate. Now, all you gotta do is cheese up a tortilla like before, add a meaty layer of meat, followed by your sweet and sour onions, fold it up, brush with melted butter, and cook the same as before, leaving with a nice and beefed up version of a quesadilla. Last but not least, I have something for the vegetarians here. Yes, you're welcome. Papa love you too. Now heat a 10-inch skillet with a couple tablespoons of olive oil. Heat that over medium heat until very hot. Then add 6 sliced trumpet mushrooms, which is equal to around 10 button mushrooms. Season those to taste with salt and let those cook for about 2 minutes before agitating the pan. Then add 1 thinly sliced shallot. Saute that for a few seconds to then follow up with 1 thinly sliced zucchini. Season again with salt and pepper to taste, and then continue cooking for about 5 minutes, stirring occasionally until the veggies have softened up and you get some light color. Then finish it with 1 thinly sliced red Fresno chili, or really any chili of your choice. And that's it. That's your filling. Then just follow in the footsteps of the previous quesadilla. First cheese, then filling. Fold, butter it up into that there pan, flip, slice, and enjoy.
We got beefy boy and vegetarian healthy. Well, not really healthy. Cheese is vegetarian, right? Some cheeses aren't vegetarian. Well, you can use cheese that's vegetarian, okay? But the beefy boy first, because that's my choice. If you're a beef chief, you know. First bite, like fireworks, beefy fireworks, like a flavor. It is really rich though. Only thing that helps lift it are the caramelized onions. You've got the sweetness and you've got that sort of acidity that you need to cut through that richness. So the vegetarian one, I can eat a lot more of than the beef one. It's light enough that after you eat it, you don't feel like you need to go on like an 18-mile run after eating it. You feel good. The flavor still hits you like, but in a more romantic way. Cheese choice, meat or vegetarian, it's all up to you. And that's the beauty of the quesadilla.
But do you want to know what else is cheesy and magnificent? B-roll.
Alright guys, and that is it. So we made quesadillas. Vegetarian homies, Papa gives you love too, alright? I know you're always asking for it. I'm doing what I can to get you there, alright? I'm doing what I can. At the end of the day, it's kind of a subjective choice, right? What is the perfect quesadilla? Really, the point is that whatever you like. It's just understanding the general technique to get you there. Now it's up to you to use the knowledge that you've earned today. Go forth and become your own quesadilla king. Don't know what that means, but if you enjoyed this video or you learned something, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you next time. It doesn't really even close all the way because you can still kind of see me.